Good morning everyone. So yesterday's class and previous class we have discussed already basic properties of charge. So in that basic properties of charge we have discussed charge is additive, charge is conserved and charge is quantized. I briefly explain what is charge is additive. Charge is additive is nothing but the total charge of the system is always equals to the algebraic sum of the individual charges present in that system is called as a charge is additive. Means we can add the number of charges in a system by simply adding all those individual charges. We get as a total charge on that system. So next it is charge is conserved. Charge is conserved means whatever the charge is in the body, it remains as a constant, and the total charge of the body before and after using it remains as constant. So here charge is conserved. One more thing we are saying as a number of positive charges which are present in that system is equal number of negative charges present in that system. So therefore that charged body is initially it is electrically neutral. Okay. Any object, any particle in the universe, initially it is electrically neutral. So the third thing is charge is quantized. So many of us we have not understood what is charge is quantized. Means initially in the before case we have already said that so in any conductor the number of electrons and the number of protons are always equal. So initially it is electrically neutral. There is no electron or there is no charge to carry an electric field or electric force in this. So therefore what happens? So in that case we have to free them. To free them we are giving some electric current. We are giving us electric field or electric current to the conductor such that now due to this electric field, applied electric field, that some of the electrons will get free from the bonding. Means which are the attached to the nucleus. They are bonded in an electrons are not in free. It is bonded with the nucleus, and these atoms doesn't have a free electron or valence electron. In your chemistry it is saying as a valence electron or free electrons. In such case, then we are using as an to free them we are applying electric field. So by applying the number of electrons will get free. So those number of free electrons, E number, suppose there are 4 electrons are get free due to of this external electric field. So now the total charge on this body, the total charge on the any system, it is taken as Q is equals to number of free charges which are present into the basic unit of a charge. Number of free charges means here I have get as how much? 4 charges. So therefore Q is equals to 4. What is the each charge value? Each charge value is into 1.602 into 10 to the power of minus 19. Each charge value E, that is a basic value of charge value for any either electron or proton, it gives us a 1.602 into 10 to the power of minus 19, and it is get freed as 4 electrons. So therefore the number of free electrons present in that conductor is 4. So therefore Q is equals to 4 into 1.602 into 10 to the power of minus 19. Clear? So here 4 is the integral multiple value, E is the basic unit of a charge. So then charge is quantized means nothing but the total number of free charges present in the system is equals to integral multiple of basic unit of charge. This is a basic unit of charge. Clear? So yesterday we have stopped here. We will continue the next part, that is Coulomb's law and electric force. It is defined for the basic Also we have studied about the properties of a charge. So well, clear? So now charge is a point, isn't it? So I am taking as a positive charge here. So what happens if I just take it another positive charge here? What happens? So generally if I take as a two bar magnets, then what happens in between them, what it is exist? So definitely either it attracts or repels based on their pole value, that is based on their polar system, either north-north or north-south, depending on that the force it exists. The same way here the point charges also exhibit a force between them. So it exhibits a force between the point charges that can be taken as, so I am considering here 2 point charges. They are certain distance apart from each other, so that distance between them it is taken as a r. Is it exhibit a electric force? So definitely the point charges also exhibit a force. So if there is a positive charge, then it produces as a repulsive force. Positive and negative charge, definitely it attracts, it repels. In this case it is repulsive force, it is attractive force, it is a attractive force. So now we have known that is force is exhibit. Then what is that, or how much quantity the force is exhibit? So well, it is, you have already known gravitational force. You have already studied in the previous year gravitational force. This, what is this gravitational force? It is nothing but an attractive force. It doesn't have a repulsive force. In gravitational force doesn't have a repulsive force. It is an attractive force. So gravitational force, you have know that it is in between the two planets or two bodies on the planet. So in between the two bodies on a planet. So therefore the masses of a body of two bodies is m1 and m2. Distance is r. So then what is the gravitational force for this? That is F. Gravitational force F is equals to, or F is directly proportional to what? Product of two masses of a individual bodies divided by square of distance between the two bodies. This is, you have studied in the previous year. Gravitational force, it is defined as a Newton's gravitational law. It is also called as a Newton's gravitational law or gravitational force. Force is directly proportional to product of masses and inversely proportional to the ratio square of distance between the two planets. Clear? So along the line, how means I can take it like this? No, it is not possible. I have to take along the line joining. We have to consider as a distance. Clear? So square of the distance between the two masses of a planets, that is gravitational law we have discussed. The same concept or the same phenomena it exists for the Coulomb's law also. But the difference is here instead of masses we are taking as a point charges. Coulomb's law is applicable only for the point charges. So now, so from Coulomb's law, here two charges are exhibited. Both are positive, so therefore definitely there must be a force. Force is a vector quantity. R is also displacement, it is also a vector quantity. So now charges, Q, charge is a quantity, is a scalar or a vector? Whether charge is a scalar or vector quantity. So charge is a scalar quantity, doesn't have a direction. If I just simply put a point charge, it doesn't, I cannot mention it in which direction it is. It's just a point charge. So therefore it is not a vector, it is a scalar. Charge is a scalar quantity. What is the unit of charge? Message me in WhatsApp group. Okay, the unit of charge already I have told in our last class, unit of charge. So here it is given as a two charges and the distance between is r, and in between there is exists as a force. The same thing. So force is acting on two charges electrostatics. So in between a point charge is directly proportional to the product of, that is this I am taking as Q1, this is I am taking as Q2. The product of 2 point charges Q1 and Q2 and inversely proportional to the square of distance I have taken as R. Therefore, square of distance between the 2 point charges along the line joining. It is very important to mention a word along the line joining. Means I have to take it along the straight line. So I cannot write it like this. Clear? The force I cannot express in the form of like this. Clear? So therefore, along the line joining, I am considering a force. That is, force is directly proportional to the product of 2 point charges. Which charges? It is a point charges. Product of 2 point charges. And inversely proportional to the square of distance between the 2 point charges along the line joining the charges is called as a Coulomb's law. It is very important for 2 marks. Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law is very important. So definite question for the exam. So Coulomb's law states as the electrostatic force acting on a point charges is directly proportional to the product of 2 charges and inversely proportional to the square of distance between the 2 charges. It is written as F proportional to Q1 Q2 and F inversely proportional to what? Square of distance. And joining this, we will get it as F is equals to this. So F is equals to, after removing a proportionality constant, we will get as F is equals to Q1 Q2 divided by 4 R square into K. So here K is what? K is a constant. Why we have to mention it this as a K value? So in the previous section also we have just mentioned as F is equals to G into M1 M2 divided by R square from the gravitational. So here what is G? G is the gravitational constant. Here K is the, what is K here? K is the force constant for electric field. So electric field constant or electric force constant. So here G we know for every system in between the 2 particle or 2 masses, in between what it is exists, depending on that G and K are varies. So here what quantity it is varies. So if these 2 charges, whether it is kept in an air or whether it is kept in an water, so based on the medium, definitely the K value is changes. Then the K value it is given as K is equals to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. That is constant value is equals to 1 divided by 4 pi into epsilon naught. K epsilon naught is what here? Epsilon naught is nothing but a permittivity of free space, means in air. Okay, it is free space. Nothing but charges are kept in an air, then you have to take it as a 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. If the charges are kept in an water, then what we have to replace? We have to replace K is equals to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon. Epsilon is what here? Epsilon is the permittivity of a medium, not a free space, medium. So epsilon and epsilon naught value varies with respect to of value. So epsilon naught is remains constant for with respect to of air or free space. That epsilon naught value it is given as 8.854 into 10 to the power of minus 12. So then unit for, how to find the unit for epsilon naught? Epsilon naught unit, to find epsilon naught unit, F is equals to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R square. So force is measured what? In terms of Newton. And one side 4 pi is a constant dimensionless, so there is no unit for 4 pi, and epsilon naught we need to find the dimensional, we need to find the unit, so epsilon naught keep it as it is. Charge unit is coulomb, coulomb into coulomb, coulomb square divided by meter square. So epsilon naught is equals to what happens, the unit for epsilon naught, coulomb square, epsilon naught, per Newton per meter square. Epsilon naught value, that is a permittivity of free space. So here epsilon represents for the electric force value or electric field value for based on electricity, the quantity how it varies depending on the medium. So here epsilon naught is a permittivity of a free space. That permittivity of a free space value it is given as a 8.854 10 to the power of minus 12 unit for epsilon naught. To find it as a 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 divided by r square, we are taking force, it is measured in terms of Newton. We have to calculate this value, so keep it as it is, 1 by epsilon naught coulomb square meter square. So epsilon naught is equals to coulomb square per Newton per meter square. So here coulomb square per Newton per meter square. So you can calculate any value by using this. Clear? By using this method, you can calculate any value of unit. Clear? So force is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 divided by r square. So the same thing, it is represented in vector form. The Coulomb's force, it is represented in vector form as Coulomb's force represented, very important, this is also very important. This is Coulomb's force in vector form. It is represented as two charges q1 and q2. They are separated by a distance r, and now it is expressed with a force. So generally we know that F is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 divided by r square. This is a force value, right? So now already I have said force is a vector, isn't it? So make it a expression for represent a vector quantity. I am writing over on quantity, it is vector notation. F bar 1 by 4 pi epsilon, it is a constant value, doesn't have direction. And here we can notice that Q1 and Q2 are the charges, it is a scalar quantity. Q1, Q2 are the charges, or it is a scalar quantity, so don't notify it. So R is the displacement or distance between the two charges along the line joining. So therefore it is a vector quantity. Mention the direction r square. To mention that one, we are writing as r cap. So to representing that, we are writing as an r cap. R cap represent as a unit vector, means which direction the resultant value of a direction between the two charges. So r cap is nothing but a unit vector. So F bar is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon q1 q2 divided by r1 square, r1 r bar square, r cap. R cap is a unit vector along the direction. Thank you. We will continue in the next class.